What's up, YouTube? This is the Take Five Podcast. I'm Aaron Action.
I'm Dustin.
I'm Rosie.
I'm Justin.
Back for more.
Today's topic is top 5 bands with one album. All right, Justin. What's that for number 5?
All right. This goes way back. And of course, there's, with all my picks, there's a story. You guys remember Decline of Western Civilization metal years?
Yep.
Of course.
Remember Odin?
Yeah.
Of course.
All right. After Odin fell apart,
Lost Boys.
Randy O got a band together with some motherfuckers, and they kicked ass. And it turns out that I had a connection to one of them that I had no idea until much later. But yes, Lost Boys, Lost and Found. Bam.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
You guys, here, hold on a second. Look at that. Look at that. That is Randy O.
Hell yeah.
The foxy guy. It still is.
Yeah.
So I'll get when we get into that into the connection. So I saw Phil Lewis at the Alrosa in '94, and just it wasn't LA Guns. It was just
I was there.
Yeah.
Old motherfuckers.
Yeah. So it turns out that somebody in the audience said, "Hey, his bass player is named James Tavis." I was like, "Man, why does that name sound familiar?" And turns out that just prior, James was rooming with my cousin Teresa. And the name sounded familiar because he actually thanked Teresa in the thanks section. I'm like, that's why it sounds so fucking familiar. Met James, awesome dude. I'm like, what's going on? How do I know your name? I was like, yes, Teresa. And he told me that, that he was rooming with her. And it's like, wow, blown away. But Lost Boys, killer fucking out. Just one of those bands that just early 90s, just missed the timing, but a great fucking band. Killer live. Lost Boys, Lost and Found. If you can get it because it's kick ass.
Fuck yeah. All right, Dustin, what'd you have for number 5?
I went something a little different. This band was already a band, but prior to this happening, but Suicidal Tendencies briefly broke up. And during that, Mike Muir did vocals on an album with a band that he was going to be in the band, No Mercy, from Venice, California. They did one album. Mike Clark was the guitar player who went on to, they did that album, whatever didn't happen with it. And they started doing Suicidal again, and that's when Mike Clark came into Suicidal. Rick Clayton's in this band. He's the bass player. He did a lot of the artwork, shirts, designs, and stuff that we've all seen, like Suicidal stuff, and probably doing this Rick Clayton. He's done a lot of other bands. Great artist. He played bass in this band. Said Mike Clark going on before he was even in Suicidal, and this one album, the Widespread, excuse me, Widespread Bloodshed, Mike Muir did vocals. So yeah, No Mercy from Venice, California.
Awesome. All right, Rosie, what'd you have for number 5?
For number 5, I went with Boxcar Racer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
I just did a last minute change. I was going to be somebody else, but I'll make them an honorable mention.
Right on. All right. When I was going through my list, it was I thought it was gonna be harder than this because I'm thinking, man, I gotta go find all the bands with one album. Didn't find 5 that I actually liked, and I actually found quite a bit. So I was kind of surprised. And My number 5 is one. It's think about. It's hard to believe they only had one out. More of the new wave genre, but Scandals, Warrior, 1984. Like,
Yeah, I guess so.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, they had so many hits and realized they only had one album.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to put that on there just because that's like I was amazed by that. I mean, they were
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, they definitely were.
Right on. All right, Justin, with Jeff at number 4.
All right. So in the mid 90s, out of the Viper Room came a super group that was Duff McKagan, Matt Sorum, Billy Idol, and Steve Stevens. Sounds pretty cool, right? I'd go see that, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, they replaced Billy Idol and Steve Stevens with John Taylor from Duran Duran and Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols.
Oh yeah.
They became they went under a band change name, but they became the Neurotic Outsiders.
Outsiders. Yep.
Yep.
Put out one album. They played out in 95. Played some shows again at the Viper Room. 99, they did 3 reunion shows, and that was it. They were gone. Neurotic Outsiders. If you can find this album, it is so fucking good. It's punk. It's very Steve Jones. He was feeling it. He laid it all on the line. Just badass. It just only in LA, man. Only in LA. But yeah, Neurotic Outsiders, great fucking record. It's out of print, but if you can find it,
Yeah. See,
be ready to fork up some money, but it's kick ass.
Yeah, I've heard. I just didn't realize they only had the one out. See, that's why I wouldn't have on this. But yeah, it is a great album.
Yep.
I don't think I've heard. I wouldn't recognize it in there, but I knew of that band. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds very kind of use your illusions as far as like the rhythm section. It sounds sonically from the just the rhythm section. It sounds like a Guns N' Roses, but then you have Steve Jones's just very raw Les Paul Marshall punk. His lyrics are just fucking hilarious. Of course, you'd expect nothing less than Steve Jones, but it's fucking good. They were a killer band just live. They played just really small places like the Viper Room. It was hold like 200, and it's just a sweaty, just gnarly, dirty, rad, just sound and just just the vibe to that band was it's something that you can't make up. You just have to get those cast of characters in that band, and they kicked ass.
Right on. All right, Dustin, with Jeff for number 4.
I got a band. They one album. They slaved away at it for a number of years, doing the in the 80s, doing the clubs and shit. Finally got the record deal, and for whatever reason, they broke up. I don't think it was a situation like where they got dropped from the label. They just, I think the record thing is what did them in. And I oddly heard the one song they had the video for from this album on playing over the at the Sheets gas station. I heard this. I'm like, how in the hell are they playing this? Sea Hags.
Oh, nice.
They really played that at Sheets.
Nice.
I was pumping gas, and I'm like, that's got to be from somebody's car, right? I'm like, that's got to be like somebody's listening to Sirius XM or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it was playing over
Hathaway Valley.
Yeah, yep.
Damn.
So yeah, and that same sheet.
Yeah.
I've gone back to, and there's some station or hell, unless they've got some kind of mix going. Well, I've heard other like hair band stuff, and I'm not talking like typical shit you would expect. Like I heard Mean Streak there. Y&T Mean Streak to sing
Man.
She's a completely different a
Going back.
different time. But when I heard that Sea Hag song, I was like,
Yeah, I
it was
mean, that
kidding.
was like, they were like, we should have had them on underrated bands 'cause nobody did.
Yep.
Yeah,
And that was a good
they were
album.
good. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
I almost had that as honorable mention. All right, Rosie, what'd you have for number 4?
For number 4, I'm gonna go with Twin Forks. And I'm sure you guys have not heard of them.
Nope.
You got me.
Woo!
Teach us something.
Chris Carrera for Dashboard Confessional. It was a solo project he did.
Okay.
After Further Seems Forever and Dashboard Confessional, it was something that he kind of went off and did that was a little bit more like folksy. And they just released the one album. They did do like a free EP, but that doesn't count. But they're definitely like not as like poppy as Dashboard can be. Definitely like more folksy and super good.
Right on.
And Chris Carrabba could sell me horse shit if he wanted to. I'd buy it. So
I'm sure you would.
All right.
it's really good.
All right, my number 4 is a band I actually seen open for Loverboy back in the early 90s or maybe late 80s. They their one album came out in 1989 called Dirty But Well Dressed. Bo Nasty.
Yes.
Okay.
Killer.
Justin, you look so excited about that.
That was I don't know where I first heard that band. It was probably who knows, man. Maybe it's probably like Metal Edge, Rockin' the Rise or something, which I love that section in that magazine. But it was probably I have no idea where they came from, but very tight, kind of a unique sound. I remember the guitar tone was just kind of weird. They did fucking to cover that Love Potion number 9.
Number 9, yeah.
Killed it. That was fucking badass. Yeah.
They had one
Damn.
single, Shake It. They had a video for that on Headbangers Ball. Yeah, they were pretty good.
Yeah. No,
Right
really.
on. All right, Justin, what'd you have for number 3?
All right. I'm gonna take you back. Remember Park Avenue?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mary and what was the guy's name?
Roger, their husband.
Yeah. Mary and Roger booked this band. They were on a very small label. Heard of this band actually through Rip. Rip had a very similar section. The Rock and Rise is kind of like bands that were just had just beneath the ground that needed to be mentioned. And first heard this band. They look cool. They sound interesting. Not knowing anything about them except for they were from Nashville, and they were kind of like a very trippy, almost like 60s hard rock, which you would think kind of like Enough's Enough, but it was a little more, actually a lot more aggressive, but similar. And I'm like, all right, they're playing Park Avenue. I got to check this shit out.
Oh, see, I've never heard them.
Valentine Saloon. I had just started to get into the Columbus scene, and I was in this band. We totally sucked, but we were playing at Park Avenue quite a bit, and heard Valentine Saloon was coming. I was like, I got to check these guys out, see what they're all about. Kicked ass. I have no clue who opened for them. I don't know, but talking to the guys, I became really, really good friends with their guitar player. I don't know. My personality, I'm very much an extrovert, and I will make best friends just like this in an instant. And me and the guitar player, maybe it's just the thing between guitar players, we clicked. and I had the guys sign all of the inside. I want to show you guys what these guys look like. But that is the guitar player right there. His name is Henry Meyer. So this is kind of like what they look like. That's the bass player, the guitar player, the singer, and the drummer, Billy. Killer. That drummer was badass. And I had convinced myself that I was going to steal this drummer somehow. I didn't care if he was in a signed band playing, on a national tour. I didn't care. But turns out I couldn't steal him away. But yeah, Valentine Saloon, one album, super duper. And yeah, Roger and Mary did a fantastic job, putting this thing together because it kicked my ass. Of course, Park Avenue, what held maybe 100 people, but they were loud, kicked ass, just very cool in a 60s in the early 90s thing. And it was just killer tight, sounded really good, kicked my ass. Pardon my French for you, little kid. But yeah, killer. Valentine Saloon, again, if you can pick this album up, if you can find it, do, because it's badass.
I'm going to look him up.
You're not offending this kid.
He's heard it all?
Punk rocker, so.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
He's got it coming up when it's us, or when it's my turn again. So
all right,
Dustin.
All right, Dustin, what's that for number 3?
Number 3, we got a band that we've talked about before. And someone that was in this band, a person that was in this band, from Columbus, who I think we talked about having as a guest. But Salty Dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that fucking album, I loved that album when it came out, man. Loved it so much. That band, the drummer in that band, underrated as fuck.
Yep.
I only knew this till, I don't know, recently, being like a year or so, that the singer, that Jimmy Bleacher dude, was like from Ohio also.
Oh, wow.
And
probably from the Cleveland area or something? Or
say it again.
Was he like from the Cleveland area or?
I don't know, but from I saw in an interview or read or whatever, the connection with him and Mike Hannon had something to do with Mark Chatfield. And at that time, I think the Gods were out trying to do something in 88, 89 in LA. And that somehow that's how he came into at least the singer did. But yeah, man, that first Salty Dog record, they did a second record that never came out on Geffen, but that was actually with a different singer, the second album.
Oh, wow. So here's an interesting story. I actually saw Salty Dog before they were signed at the Troubadour. I had no idea that Michael was from Columbus. I didn't make the connection until later. But I remember seeing, my mom let me have in my house that I grew up in, my mom let me be artistic in the laundry room walls. I could write anything I wanted. It didn't matter how stupid, and some of the shit was pretty fucking stupid, but she let me and my friends be artistic and write stuff on the walls. I remember when I saw Salty Dog at the Troubadour, came back to Ohio I had to go back to school, and I remember somewhere like on one of the amps or something, on one of the road cases, it said Salty fucking Dog. I remember the shit. So I come back, I'm like, Mom, I got something to do before I unpack. So I right above the washer and dryer, big fucking letters, Salty fucking Dog.
Nice.
Mom was like, what is this? What does that mean? I was like, it's a band I saw the Troubadour out there, and they kicked ass. Yeah. Raw. But again, the Troubadour holds 500 people. There was maybe 200 people there, but they blew me away how good they were. The guitar player especially, just blues, badass, just nailed it. But yeah, I wrote Salty fucking Dog in black mark. I can imagine when we had to sell that house that the amount of paint that there's going to be, because we were merciless on those walls, just stupid shit. But yeah, so that's a good fucking choice.
But yeah, Dustin, I knew you. I didn't even put them on honorable mentions. I knew they were going to make your list because you talk about them a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right, Rosie. What'd you have for number 3?
Well, I'm gonna let Alistair go, and then I'll go.
Okay.
Minor Threat.
Damn you! That was my number 3. You're fired, Alistair. Good pick. Yeah, that was my number 3.
Tell him about Minor Threat. He actually does like Minor Threat.
What did I tell him?
Oh, what do you like about him?
How great they are.
Yep. Yep.
Tell him about this that you just told me.
My dad got a tattoo of a black sheep, but he already had a red spider web on, and it was right here, and he forgot it was there. Then he got the tattoo of the black sheep on top of it, like right here. So now he just has a tattoo on his neck of a red spider web with a black sheep on it.
So the red spider web's under his.
Shit, sounds killer. Hell yeah.
And you like that they're that they don't drink and stuff, right?
Yeah.
He likes that they're straight edge.
Me too. Alistair, I'm straight edge too. Rock on. But Justin, I told you he was into punk rock, man.
Yeah, that's fine. Dude, we should do an episode of like our favorite punk bands. We'll get to that later because I've got one. Just my
Do mine now, okay?
Yeah,
Thank you for
that could
joining
be
it.
that's a long
Was a
list.
Brian
Yeah.
Baker band too.
yeah,
All right.
Yep.
Killer.
So
All right, Rosie.
So Alistair got his in, which was also one of mine. So
Yeah.
he got us both there, Aaron.
All right.
So for number 3, I'm gonna go with Jeff Buckley. And his one and only album, Grace. My number 3 choice.
All right. Well, since he took ours, I'm gonna switch my number 3 up, and this is probably going to be on your list, Rosie, but I'm still in. Sex Pistols. Never mind the Bullocks, 1977.
That was my number 1.
I told you.
I was even gonna wear my Sex Pistols shirt today, but I thought that might make it too obvious.
Yeah.
Killer.
I
Hey, Rosie, did you happen to see when the Sex Pistols did their reunion up at Cleveland? They played Nautica in 96, 97?
Do you know how old I am?
No.
a lot younger than us, Justin.
Honestly, don't remember. Guess 36.
Okay.
I probably didn't even have a driver's license, and I lived in Dayton at the time. So no, I did not see that.
Just call Uber or something. I don't know. Call a friend. Call a friend.
In
So it wasn't even
96, all
internet.
over.
Dude, that was fucking. That was one of those. In the mid 90s, there was a lot of stuff that started to happen as far as like the grunge stuff was starting to move out. Bands were starting to get back together, like Motley had got Vince back. Kiss had gotten Ace and Peter back. The Sex
Ooh.
Pistols did some band called Kiss. I've never heard of them, but
You don't like them.
the Sex Pistols started, got this reunion. Poison got back together, so there was a lot of stuff that was starting to happen. That's when I moved up to Cleveland, and I joined the previous band that I was in because there was so much at the time that was happening as far as like the glitter rock and like rock and roll was actually starting to come back again. That was a very exciting time, when the Sex Pistols announced that they were playing Nautica stage, and they only played like 8 shows, and that was one of them. Incredible. And I remember Johnny Rotten was like, after the show, he was like, "Ever feel like you've been cheated?" It just badass, killer.
I remember they were on like one of the Lollapaloozas around that time.
Nice.
It might have been 96 because I was living in Florida then, but I remember I think they played somewhere down there on the Lollapalooza.
Nice.
All right.
Where'd my piece of paper go?
All right, we're Justin, we're at your number 2.
Me?
Número dos.
Yeah.
Just yes.
All right. This was a band that I again heard from in Rip magazine. They were a Los Angeles-based band, but they were not. They were far from a normal band. Keep in mind, this is also in the '90s. You'll probably know it when I say this. Their singer was supposedly homeless. He was like a bum, like
Oh,
legitimate.
damn it! I forgot them.
Hold on, like legitimate bum.
Yeah.
And they open up for Lynch Mob at the Newport, and I'm like, George is cool. You know, I love. I'm a huge Lynch Mob fan, but I've got to see this band. Walking around the Newport, all of a sudden you see this homeless looking guy in a sport coat, smelling pretty fucking bad, just walking around the floor, just acting just really sticking out like a sore thumb, just walking around, just just fucked up. All of a sudden, this guy gets on stage. All right, we're security. This guy's gonna be kicked off here in a couple of seconds. All of a sudden, he gets on the microphone. He's like, "Welcome to the new," and he's like, "Life, sex, and death." The band comes in, just killer. LSD, life, sex, and death. And I have to mention this. I have to mention this because Alex Kane, the guitar player, is one of my hugest online supporters of my band. I love the guy so much.
Alex
He
fucking
was in.
What's
that?
Alex
Alex fucking Kane.
fucking Kane.
Yes, he was in a band. This would have been like late '90s, I believe. He was in a band, just unsigned small LA band called Suck. And I wrote Alex. I said, dude, you know, send me your demo. Sent me a demo, 2 songs on it, with a merch list of things you can buy from this band. And this list was very Alex fucking Kane like. He is very much out of the box. He supports. He encourages me, which is, you know, in a bad way. He encourages me to go out of the box. He's like, Justin, do shit that's not normal. Go against the fucking grain as much as you can. We've talked guitars, we've talked music, we've talked, you know, just things about life. And I had to mention this band, just a killer band. My guitar, the red guitar with the black letters, I pretty much patterned that after his. It's like a gold guitar with like white letters that he's still got. It's in bad shape. So much of my playing is Alex's influence. And I tell him, it's like, dude, that's fucking weird. It's like, we don't know theory. There's a lot of stuff about guitar that we don't know, and that's perfectly okay with us. We're okay with being out of the box and just, again, against the fucking grain, just doing what you love, just go from gut instinct. And he brings that out of me. So I had to mention LSD. I love that fucking band so much. And Alex fucking Kane, fucking rock, dude.
I see, like we're actually going to do this topic like 6 months ago, and but we never got to it. But LSD was on my list. I don't know how I forgot them today, but I'm glad you brought them up. Yeah, that was such a great record. They were so different. Oh man, yeah. I think they played Park Avenue at one time also. Didn't they?
Wow.
Dustin? Remember that?
I don't. I mean, I remember the band, but I don't remember.
I could be
there.
wrong, but for some reason, I don't remember the Lynch Mob show, but for some reason I think they played Park Avenue.
Wow.
Hey, Dustin, what do you have for number 2?
Similar to Salty Dog, this band did one record and recorded another, got dropped. I forgot how much I remember this band back. This album came out in '90. They toured that summer with Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood tour, Johnny Crash.
Killer. Neighborhood Threat.
Yep, Neighborhood Threat. They recorded a second album that was never got shelved, and 15 years ago, some European label put it out. But yeah, that first record, man, that was good shit.
Yep.
Dude's vocals were, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are unfamiliar, it's basically Los Angeles' answer to AC/DC. Just,
Oh yeah, I know.
but
I know
it's
who they are. Yeah, me and
very
Dustin
just
talked a lot. Yeah.
sleazy, just kick ass in your face. Yeah, it's just killer.
All right, Rosie, with Jeff for number 2.
So for number 2, these guys probably could have been lower on my list, but I'm gonna go with Postal Service.
They
And
only had
I'm
one
actually,
album?
yeah, I was really surprised when
Yeah.
I saw, because I would have thought that they had more, but the guys were in lots of different bands that released a lot of other stuff, but as the Postal Service, they only released one album. And there was some things where like Such Great Heights was on movie soundtracks and stuff, but from what I could find, it seems to be that they only released one album.
Interesting. See, I didn't know that. All right, okay. My number 2, speaking of Park Avenue, this is the band I've seen at Park Avenue. It's actually the only time I've ever been there. This band was from Arkansas. They came out with one album in '93. They were kind of different. They were kind of grungy, kind of rap metal-y. They were like, I think they were kind of before their time. They were really good. I saw them open up for Sugar Tooth. Their album is called My Soul Is Wet, Mother's Day Out.
I remember
Buddy,
them. Yeah,
they were kind of big. Like they,
I remember them. Yeah,
I mean, they would play them on the Blitz. I mean, they had a couple of songs that played. They were, I mean, they came and went like so fast. I mean, it was like they put out the one record, and I think their label dropped them, and they kind of broke up after that. But they were so good. They kind of different for that time. All right, Justin, with Jeff for number 1.
All right, my number 1, and I have to mention this because one of the guitar players again is a huge supporter of mine from day one. So when I was going through the clubs in Los Angeles, this is late 80s. There was a band that I would see a lot of ads from, and they looked fucking kick ass. They got signed to this record label and changed their name. The record label sat on this record for about 2 years.
I know.
The guitar player went into this and he bitched and moaned, and there's just a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes. But the demo from this band, 4-song demo, has got to be one of the best, not really the best sounding, just as far as just the songs. It's got to be one of the best demos that I've ever heard from bands of that era. And I have to mention this because they played the El Rosso. And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, these people here in the El Rosso, they have no idea what they're about to see. This is one of my Los Angeles boys coming to Columbus to kick their ass. And they were loud, they were heavy, they just played cool. They looked, kind of stripped down a little bit. At that point, they had toned down the glam image, which they weren't. They were kind of like later tough glam. Tone that down, just basically come out, just t-shirt, jeans, just ready to kick some fucking ass. And I was like, these people are in for it. And the guitar player with long ass blonde hair, Benny Raindance.
Yep.
When I announced that I had started this band, Cruella D'Vill, he was one of the first people to say, dude, it's going to be fucking big. It's going to take time. do your thing, stick to your guns. We talk guitars, we talked, we talked shop,
Did he
we talked music.
did he
Um,
maybe say stick to your young guns?
he said, stick to your guns. Just, it's going to take time. Just keep doing what you're doing because what you're doing is right. But I love this band so much. Capitol Records, you really fucked up.
Why are you
You
messing?
should have released this album when the shit was going. But for whatever reason, they sat on it. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that happened between Benny and Brent and later Drew that the band imploded. Again,
Right.
just one of those things.
Oh, you know what I'm
I
doing.
loved Wild Side.
That
Yes.
Under the Influence is just one of those albums that every song is fucking good.
Yeah. That's
They,
another one I
you know,
forgot
they,
about.
they made their attempt, for the power ballad, which, admittedly wasn't one of their best songs, but it was, kind of a semi hit, I guess. But yeah, when they played the Alrosa Villa, I was like, Los Angeles came to Ohio and kicked our ass, and thank fucking God.
I was there. It was a
Killer.
great show. Yeah,
This-
I think that show's on YouTube, isn't it? Dustin, didn't we talk about that
Yeah.
before? Dude,
Yeah,
they
100%.
were. See, that's another one I
Yeah.
had on my list before, but when I made this list, I forgot them all. Yeah, that album is so good.
See, I had him as an honorable mention because I thought for sure Aaron, were going to have
Yeah.
him on
Yeah, them
Oh,
and LSD, I had them on the list when I was going to do this episode before, and I forgot both of them. Yeah, man, that great choice, man. That's such a
And right
Yeah.
in everything Justin said, like right when he said it, I knew exactly. That's why I made the joke with the Young Guns, because that's
Mhm.
what they were called before Wild Side.
Yeah, they did a great cover of Crash Diet, from Guns N' Roses. They did a great cover of that. Just from the things that that Benny told me that happened behind the scenes, not just with Brent, but as far as with Drew and the label. The label didn't want it to get out that they had secretly recorded this album at 5150.
I was going to say that. I was going to mention that.
Yeah, you would figure that that would be something to not really a marketing thing, but I mean it's pretty fucking kick ass for you to record at 5150, being an unsigned this is your debut.
Yeah.
Capitol did they did pour a decent pretty good, actually probably too much money into the recording of this, but the end product is, where the hell is it at? Here it is. Yeah, if you can find this,
Oh, I have
Yeah.
that out. I have it on
This-
CD also.
this fucking killer.
Yeah.
Every single song is just badass.
And there's
It's
There's a
So-
cover on that album, right? A cover song. Let's say a cover.
on the
I'm pretty sure.
on the original. No,
Damn, I could have swore there was.
they did not on this. They released. I think it was Stevie Rochelle, his label. They released a it's called the Wasted Years,
Yeah.
and that's actually got a couple songs that was on the original Young Guns demo. That I'm like, thank God these songs are released, because they're as good, if not better, than the songs that made the record. They're just fucking brutal as fuck. Just
Yeah,
so
when-
good.
Yeah, when that album came out, I was kind of out of that scene because all of those bands weren't as good anymore, like all the newer stuff. So I'm gonna go out on a
Mhm.
limb and say they were like the best band of that time, of
Yep.
the later glam, like early 90s stuff, like I wasn't into a lot of those, but they were fucking solid, man. I think I seen them
Yeah.
like a New Year's. I think I seen them twice at the Alrosa. I think I seen them like a New Year's Eve, and then they headlined another time.
Yep.
I think, but
Yeah, I think it was when they headlined, when I saw them, they were just killer.
Yeah.
And it sucks because Drew's voice was not meant to last, and it did not. They did some reunion shows, not recently, but some years back, and they sounded rough. And of course, Benny was not a part of this, which I am on Benny's side. I'll tell you straight up. But Drew actually ended up working for Hustler in the digital content department. But yeah, his voice gone. It's done.
Well, that sucks.
Done.
Right on.
Yeah, good pick.
Yeah, good one, Justin. All right, Dustin, what you have for number one?
My number one was another band with a. They've all got these stories, just like the Wild Side thing, man, and how labels just fuck bands over and shit like that. This record came out in '88, and they were a lot of the rumors was they were fucked with to kind of perpetuate the popularity of Guns N' Roses. Same thing, giving a bunch of money and but fuck, this ended up being a double record. Fucking Rock City Angels. Heard me talk about before, the Young Man's Blues record.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't think that one.
Say what?
I don't think I know that one.
Well, there's, you didn't know Circus of Power either. But we got to get to that. So, this is another one.
There's the internet.
Snap.
Yeah, this Rock, they should have, I thought, man, they should have been. Yeah, but the shit with that is like, always heard like Geffen just kind of use them as a tool to like push Guns N' Roses. Like, why the fuck do that? Why not put it into this band also? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But they did a video for the Deep Inside My Heart. Fucking great video, fun. They recorded the record in Memphis. Yeah, man. And they were a punk band prior to that. Came from Florida. I talked about them before, and they had Johnny Depp was once in that band.
Wow.
Early on. Yeah. So yeah, that's my number one, man. Rock City Angels. And they too recorded stuff, a bunch of stuff that was supposed to be for a second Geffen record that never happened.
Right on.
Wow.
All right, Rosie, what you got for number one? You better not have
Well,
number one.
My number one, which I was, struggling with between my number ones anyway, but since you took my number one, is Hazen Street.
Damn you! You suck! Damn it! I should have switched up my Sex Pistols so you could use that one.
So
You got me back.
and just little school for you guys in case you don't know, because Boxcar Racer is not that that big. They did share some of the same members. David Kennedy was in both bands. Yes. So Hazen Street for number one.
Well, you know what?
So totally different than what my other number one was going to be, but I fucking love that album, and I have listened to that album for 20 years, and it's so goddamn good.
Yes. But you know what? That album was so good, I'm gonna keep up my number one because it's I still listen to it a lot, and I always switch it up. But man, it was
So
a super
good.
group. It was a super group, on Good Charlotte's label. It was dudes from H2O and Madball, and I'm like, how can that go wrong with all those?
Toby Morse.
Yeah, and I'm like, man,
David Kennedy.
It's kind of different than what I was expecting, especially with Freddie Madball. But oh man, it's so good. It's so catchy. Have you ever heard it, Justin?
Nope.
So good.
Yeah, yeah. If you're into
It's literally one of the best albums ever. When I worked at a record store back in Dayton, we were supposed to have basically the top 20 albums or whatever playing at the time, like constantly. And I just had Hazen Street and just looped and listened to that record all the time because somebody traded it in.
Wow.
And so we had a used copy in the store, so I just never put it out for sale, and I just left it in the fucking CD player and just
Nice.
that's all we listened to for like weeks was just Hazen Street before anybody noticed, like, why are we listening to the same album?
I still listen to it a lot.
So good.
Justin, what did you think of them? You weren't really into them, were you?
Didn't hate them. I'm just particular about the pop punk stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I loved all those dudes in that band and all their other bands. And I know Rosie mentioned it real quick. Mackie played drums. But yeah, I didn't dislike it. But during that time, everybody fucking, I didn't have to play it on my own because everybody else was listening to it.
It's funny because like
It's true.
I thought most people didn't like it though. I mean, I remember I used to get shit for listening to it because it's so poppy. You know, Good Charlotte's label, they trying to sound like Good Charlotte, you know, like, but it was amazing.
Well, see, I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, if someone said that, I
didn't even realize
But,
that they were the same label.
But it made sense why they did it. But I think they did it their own style with that. I couldn't say that they were biting off Good Charlotte.
Oh yeah, I mean it was original. I don't
agree. Yeah,
I mean even
I will say that.
Yeah.
And Justin's just so like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out because I mean,
but like
all that like the power pop, like the power pop punk, whatever you want to label it. That is kind of what my previous band probably should have turned into, because that's what we were best at. We actually did what's that the Blink song? I think Blink, All the Small Things.
Mm-hmm.
We actually did that, and as much as because I'm in the like heavier shit, I'm in like Motley and Slayer and like just, but I'm also into that. But I was like, that's not like what I write. It's definitely not my style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's what we were best at. And people loved it. I was like, holy shit, the first time we played it, I mean, fucking blew the roof off the place. I'm like,
Alistair,
okay, I guess that was good.
Slayer?
But what's that?
Alistair's like, Slayer?
They're good. You like them. Especially,
He likes Slayer.
What?
You got his attention because you said Slayer.
Okay. Yeah,
He
just, I mean,
Slayer.
It's kind of hard to go from like, playing like I don't know, like Seasons in the Abyss type riff or like Angel of Death to, okay, we have to play we're gonna have to kind of write in the style of, of Blank and, Sum 41. It's not my wheelhouse. It's kind of difficult. And, I was, I eventually left the band anyways, but I'm gonna have to check it out because I do like that stuff. It's not my favorite stuff, but I do like it. I'll check it out.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think when I first heard it, it was kind of, I didn't know what to make of it because Freddie's actually singing, and he does a really good job. He does some rapping and some of the stuff. I mean, but like, he's actually clean and singing clean, and I was impressed.
I'm gonna listen to it all day tomorrow now.
Yeah, I'll probably as soon as we get off here, I'll listen to it. Yeah. It's pop punk, but it's a little different than
It's a little bit rappier.
Yeah, like, what's that? Like, it's Freddie, he does some rapping, on it, but yeah, it's different for sure. Check it out.
But it's still got that like New York hardcore, like kind of.
Yeah,
it's
lyrics and everything.
Pop punk.
Yeah,
I think it sounds like H2O with Freddie singing on. It's kind of what it sounds like,
Yeah. You can definitely get the H2O vibe in it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, Justin, you have any honorable mentions?
Quite a few. I will say that there's some bands on here that when I was doing my homework, I'm like, oh yeah, I should mention this band. Shit, they actually put out a second album. Oh yeah, what about this band? Shit, they put out a second album. There's a lot of bands that that I wanted to put on here, but I couldn't. One band you guys mentioned, Johnny Crash. Let me do this. Okay. So in New York, which I'm a West Coast guy, but New York does produce some pretty decent music every once in a great while. There's a band that came out from New York. The guitar player's name is Jay Henning. And he's since passed away, but he was in two of the bands that are in my honorable mentions. The first one is a band called Star Star, and the album is called The Love Drag Years. Again, very kind of New York, kind of New York gritty kind of thing to him. Jay, when he left Star Star, he actually got in a band with Michael Monroe, and it was called Demolition 23. Demolition 23.
Oh yeah, I heard them.
As members from Hanoi Rocks with a session drummer. Again, very kind of New York, Finnish New York, if that's a thing. But yeah, killer record again. Jay Henning as a guitar player, fucking brilliant. Here's a band that this is going to shock you that you guys probably even forgot about this fucking band. They were from Canada, and the singer got compared to Sebastian Bach, Slick Toxic.
Oh,
I remember.
I thought they had a second album though. They didn't have a second album.
I don't think so.
Damn.
If they did, it probably got fucking shelved.
Yeah. I seen them at the Newport open for Ingve. Then I seen them at the Alrosa also.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nick
they were
Walsh.
great.
Nick Walsh. That guy, fuck, he can sing.
Yeah.
Here's a band that was in the decline of Western civilization in the metal years that I actually fucking loved. Seduce.
Yep.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Detroit. They actually put out an album. It was on IRS, and again, just one album.
Yeah.
It was called Too Much, Not Enough.
Yeah, I got the vinyl.
Killer.
I had the record.
Nice. Yeah. Had to mention this because I'm a huge John Corabi fan. The Scream.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's up, Rosie? Speak up. You're on mute.
I did not think of the Scream.
You what? You forgot about him?
How did I not think of the Scream?
I'm telling John.
Shut up.
I'm telling
cry.
John. No Christmas present from Krabby to you.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That should have been my number 2.
Yeah, they were. I was a huge fan of the band that he was in before, Angora. They were killer. Look up a song called what was the song he did?
I'm a huge anything John Corabi does.
It'll come to me later. Give me a line. Look up the song Angora. Give me a line. Fucking killer. All right. Another band. Fucking scraping the shit from Cats and Boots.
Yes.
I remember them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Killer. Joel Ellis, fucking just with just like Japanese, kind of it was fucking killer. Frankie Benali, Joel Ellis, and Rex Tennyson was the guitar player, the bass player. The guitar player was it'll come to me. Heavy Bones.
Heavy Bones.
Yeah.
Fucking killer. All right, Rosie, I'm about to make your night here. I had to mention this band, which you did.
Union.
Yep.
Some guy looks on. I don't know who is that guy. Never said. I don't know who he is. And this is my last one. Yeah, this is my last one. Killer band. I actually wanted to jam with the guitar player from this band because I love the style so much, but didn't happen.
Oh yeah.
The Union Underground.
Yeah.
Fucking Patrick Kinnison, dude, fucking rocks.
He just got married.
Sorry about that.
Shut up! You just got married too, nerd.
I know. I know.
But Patrick just got married 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
He got married to Nikki Stringfield from the Iron Maidens.
Oh, really? No shit. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. There you go.
All right, Dustin. You got any honorable mentions?
Yeah. I had Wild Side as an honorable mention, but I was certain you, Aaron, were going to have him. That's amazing. Justin,
Yeah, I
had him
can't believe I
number
forgot
one.
that. Yeah.
Who is it?
Wild Side.
Oh yeah.
But I figured Aaron would have. I thought for sure, but having no idea you were going to have him. But
Yeah.
Yep.
so I mentioned a band, and when we did the C bands, which I know you haven't posted yet, but Child's Play.
Mhm.
They did
From
that Rat Race.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those guys.
Yep, Child's Play. And this just made me think of this, because you brought up a New York band, and he just recently did a YouTube video. So a guy that I am acquainted with from Instagram, 1985 Road Dog. He does a YouTube channel called Before I Forget. He did a band with Kelly Nichols called Sweet Pain, and he just did a YouTube video talking about that. People have been hounding him about discussing it. He did vocals in that band, and he talked about how the band came about, the record came about, and so yeah, I'll mention Sweet Pain and What's Up to Mike C.
Nice.
And that's all I had. I wasn't ready for this tonight.
Yeah.
Aaron hit me up like an hour before, and I was like, shit, I didn't know we were doing that. So yeah, I put this list together within
We
that hour.
talked about this at dinner.
Okay,
Yeah,
listen,
okay.
bitch, I'm 48. All right, I forget shit.
The only one
So-
drinking. We talked about it at dinner.
We did. It's all right. Hey, Rosie, what'd you have for number?
I'm not calling either of you a liar. I'm saying I forgot.
Hi, Rosie. What'd you have for honorable mention?
The only other one I had was Operation Ivy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
honorable.
Yeah.
Meh.
I got a couple.
Your couple is 47.
Sometimes
Your
I-
juice box.
I had Meridian. Remember them, Justin?
Meridian? Yeah. What's that name? Sound familiar?
Meridian. Yeah,
Meridian,
okay.
Lost in the Wild, 1989.
Oh. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You know them, don't you, Justin? I think we talked about them.
I'm confused. I thought you were saying Meridian also.
Meridian.
Meridian? No, I don't think I know what you're
I
talking
heard a
about.
song called Ready to Rock.
I'd have to hear it or see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't sound. Yeah.
Here's a band that put out one album, self-titled 1991, featuring Dave King, formerly of Fastway, and now Flogging Molly. Catman
Yeah.
Dude.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember those guys.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Here's one I thought you might have said, Justin. Kick Tracy. No
I was
Road.
thinking about it. Remember, can't remember where I saw this. Again, kind of like a Los Angeles band, but kind of different. I remember seeing their name, like in the BAM and Screamers and Rock City News and stuff. And I remember seeing the name, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a KIK, kind of an interesting spelling. And they were even like featured. Somebody did like a review of it, and but yeah, they put his picture of Steven and said they were pretty good. I think where I don't want to say where they went wrong, because Dana Strum is actually he knows a lot of shit, but for that No Rules album to kind of sound very kind of like Slaughter, kind of just not really songs, just like production value.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it kind of took away from their sound. I know that doesn't make any sense, but I was just expecting like a bigger sound. It was like just really compressed, but really good band, really good album. Just I was expecting just different, expecting bigger.
Okay, I have a couple more. A band from California released a self-titled album in 1986. A band called Eden. The singer, he ended up, I think he was in a band called Armed Forces. He's passed away now, but yeah, they were really good. Then the band Tom Morello was in 1989, Lockup.
I only know of that because he does a couple he calls them these takeovers on Sirius XM stuff, and he actually mentioned that like earlier in the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how I before that I'd never even heard of them.
All right. I got one last one. There was 2 bands with the same name. This one here featuring Ron Kill and Yngwie Malmsteen.
Oh,
Stiller.
Yeah.
I like both bands, but Stiller, that this one only had 1 album. So,
I remember
Yeah.
that song, "Cold Day in Hell." It's a really, really good song.
Yeah.
It's killer.
Rick Fox was in that too.
Yeah, dude, you talk about it, like in LA, not an icon, but he was very well known in the LA scene, like the Sunset Strip scene. I mean, he was just one of those guys, in several different bands, but everybody knew who he was.
Mhm.
Right,
He was in the
anything else?
Decline movie.
He was what? Oh, yeah. He was in a band. He was in a band at that time. He played with. Oh God, I want to say he might have played with Blackie at some point. He was in a band called Sin.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah, Sin is the band I first heard his
And-
name. Of course, then Steeler, but yeah, I remember the band Sin.
And Frank Starr did vocals in Sin
Really? Damn.
that went on to the Four Horsemen that I talk
And
about.
dude, that fucking dude. Did you like? Well, I assume you liked that video that I sent you.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, I'd seen that.
Yeah,
There's
that's killer.
a handful of YouTube videos of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's killer.
Yeah. Frank Starr did vocals in Sin.
Nice. He sounded like a Jason McMaster from Dangerous Toys. Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. All right, Justin, you want to promote your YouTube?
No. Find me on YouTube at Sane's World, SAYNE''S World. If you want to find the channel easily, just put in Sane's World channel. You'll find it. A band called, yeah. If you type in Sane's World, you're going to get, Wayne, Garth, and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what
Sane's
happened to
World
me.
channel. Yep, it's happened a lot. It's anyways. Band is Cruella D'Vill, CRUELLADVIL. Check us out at CruellaDeVille.com. Debut single and some badass merch that I'm surprised none of you guys have mentioned. One particular item that's on there. If you haven't checked out the site, please do so. Again, www.CruellaDeVille.com. First single's on there. You can find the first single anywhere you happen to stream your kick-ass music. Badass. Check it out.
Oh, yeah.
We're on the Instagram. We're on the IG at Cruella.deville.music. I am on there as well, JustinSane.music. And times are tough. Don't be surprised if we start an OnlyFans here pretty soon, but you guys don't want to see that. You guys want to in that shit.
I'd subscribe.
That's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's posing right now.
Right now.
Right now, I am currently not wearing underwear.
Stay seated.
It's against my religion.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no. But Easy East t-shirt. Hey,
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Representing Compton, CPT.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thanks for coming back on, man.
Love you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
5 and out.
It was